This is a stress test. Destroy all specimens as quickly as possible. In this chaos, the true nature of these creatures will be revealed.
Hey all, Siege here, and today, let's talk about the finale of the Glassmaker storyline in Nightwave, and discuss a concerning development I've noticed within our very ships. Now, for those that don't want to be spoiled as to what happens at the end of the Glassmaker campaign, please feel free to click off the video now, finish up the quest, and then come back. However, if you don't care or just want to see what happens, well, here we go. Now, going into this final portion of the quest, I think it's been widely accepted we would have our inevitable battle with Nihil. The question always was, what form would he take exactly? Well, I have to admit, it wasn't what I expected and sent me down an interesting rabbit hole that I want to share with you today. But here's what actually happened.
Nihil's hit his endgame. Dozens are getting glassed now, system-wide, and he's just warming up. Easy to trace a signal that strong. This is where Nihil glassed thousands, maybe millions. Back in the day, this place would have been stacked with pretty glass bottles. Cephalon oubliettes, tiny little hells, each built for one. He's hiding out. We gotta find out where, and fast.
A little late for that. I'm everywhere now. Hello. Oh, she can't hear us. It's just you and me. For now. Once I filled this chamber with filled oubliettes, that anguished choir sang a song that healed my jaded old soul. That choir shall sing again.
These were all people once, Dreamer. Reduced to examples. To keep the rest in line. Just like Nihil is set on doing now. This would be how Cutter got Nihil's attention. Woke him, maybe. Either way, he got a lot more than he bargained for when he connected to this abandoned part of the weave. We all did. Justice never lived inside these walls. Only oppression. After all this time, from whatever hell he wound up in, the Glassmaker still wants to keep a heavy boot planted on every face.
Oh, please. The mob murdered the Empire. Since then, the Origin system has known nothing but conflict, chaos, and collapse. The human capacity for delusion truly is without limit. You ask why I exist? I give you this little mouthpiece for the collapse of civilization.
Orcan laws. Legum. They had hundreds of these books. Easy to put a foot wrong when your masters change the rules as they please. Judging from their condition, I'd say when the Empire's end came, it was fast and violent. Someone saved these few. And they're all about glassing.
They were deranged children, run amok. Centuries of progress destroyed. But they never destroyed me, never caught me. And our end only proved our correctness. That our laws had been just too late. But it's never too late, is it, Nora?
So many souls were glassed here. These logged and numbered. This place is important to him. So important, I'm starting to think he never left it.
But your barbarous surgeon, these are issues of degree. Sometimes all that was needed was a little off the top. But it's the beheadings people remember. A society fails without both haircuts and hangings. Naughty Nora doesn't understand that.
Dreamer, picking up massive weed resonance from the corpse. The infestation can't take it. It's running away, look! The body. It's Orokin. Wait. No. He wouldn't. Would he?
Took you long enough. The law is the heaviest of stones. A saving anchor for the righteous. A killing weight for the unjust. Prepare, for it now descends upon you. Naughty Nora with her little shoulder to the door, thinking to keep me out. Her defenses won't last long, while you, on the other hand, have no defenses at all. I am with Nora now, Tell. She's afraid, but not for long. I shall make her an image more appropriate to her future function. Shh. There. Silence. I had the strength to turn my instrument of judgment upon myself, to escape hordes of ravenous, idiot little specks like you. I have more than enough strength to shut you up. When the barbarians are at the gate, the truly noble may choose to find an honorable way out. And so the crude and lawless find they have arrived too late. And thus the weave of history may disguise a cunning victory as a defeat. I am Nihil, Glassmaker. Order shall be restored.
We're all here. Crawl, Bakvandu, Shiv, every last glass soul. Find them, Dreamer, before we all join them.
Found someone, have you more? For you, for this, I shall create such hell.
We ready?
Wait.
Get him. Now sing, you bastard. Here he is, the terror of the Orokin, bottled up like a rich lady's bathwater, or 2-credit hooch. Do what you want with him. Prop a door open, bury him 20 feet deep. Either way, he's yours. It's up to you to make sure he never gets loose again. Hell of a day, Dreamer. Hell of a day.
Now, it's one thing to speculate about a potential person, and an entirely different thing to see said individual and even fight him. That being said, I told you he wasn't a Cephalon. But more importantly, what is he exactly? The reason I ask this is because I've only seen one other entity able to recreate himself within the weave with such size, the other being Hunhao. I'd assumed that the reason for this was that Hunhao in real life was pretty much this size, so kind of like how your digital self in the Matrix matches what your mind believes you to look like, maybe mistakenly, but That's what I thought, and I think that holds true in most other cases as we keep both of our forms. Generally, enemies appear the same, and as far as Samaras, Suda, and Ortis are concerned, the size is pretty close in the Weave, but they're more like projected data, so I'm not sure they count. The question I have is, how does an Orokin control the Weave in a way that allows him to augment his size on such a scale and have it actually manifest in a way that can inflict damage on something as powerful and resilient as a Warframe? Personally, I would not have put Nihil on the same level with Hunhao, but the Orkans seem to be full of surprises concerning what they can and can't do. And the similarities between this fight and the end of Octavia's Anthem can't really be denied, can they? Here are some other questions I've learned from the quest, though. 1. How many Orkans still exist? We were originally led to believe the race had been exterminated with no in-game evidence of them for years, and then, well, they seem to be popping up more and more. Is it conceivable that they all just went into hiding? At least the top brass, if you will? Potentially within the void or even pocket spaces of the Weave that they had manufactured on their own, like what appears to exist in the Simulacrum or Sanctuary, or even Nihil's little pocket of the void. Also, I think more importantly, if you're willing to subscribe to that, does the size of Nihil, the sheer stature of him in the Weave, evoke a certain feeling of familiarity? I know personally I thought to myself almost immediately, hey bro, was it you or one of your buddies that is sticking your finger in my ship? And if so, why? However, I have to admit, the most intriguing part of this quest, for me at least, was the ending. No, not the part with Nora, but rather our little reward for the end of the quest. I'm going to look past the whole tap message to initiate the dialogue and rather just focus on what he says, although it is an interesting reference.
Can I help you? I glassed so many in my time. Surely you'd like to know where they are. Let me out. Let me out, and I'll show you. Look at you, strutting, righteous. We'll exchange places soon enough. You made a mistake placing me in here, whole and entire. I had generations to plan my return. Do you think, for one moment, that I have not allowed for this eventuality? Small minds die in cells. Great minds do their finest work.
And it's true, you know? It would probably be pretty irresponsible to think that imprisonment within a dimension he was cultivating wasn't something that he hadn't thought of, given the existence of so many Tenno within the system, and accordingly, planned potential contingencies in the case of such a likely fate. I think when most of us heard this the first time, we all assumed, rightfully so, that he was referring to his imprisonment within this chamber we received, right? But what if getting on our ship was also part of the plan? Follow me on this. Now that Helminth has fully matured and has a mouth to go with its presence on the ship, wait, did it eat the bed in there? It doesn't matter. Anyway, Helminth was created by the Orkans, specifically Ballas. But regardless, what if Nihil knows how to control it as well? If he can break free, can he influence Helminth? The reason I ask is simple. We are the Tenno, not the Warframe'S. And they were individuals, once humans with their own thoughts and feelings and family and friends presumably, and now we wear them like a suit. And on the surface, I don't think they resent us for it, but they are the ones that are doing the majority of fighting in our war and take the majority of the damage from it as well. It's no secret that Helminth itself isn't really a fan of the Tenno, like at all. When visiting the room, the master it refers to is the frame, not the Tenno. And if there is any influence, Not control, mind you. That's not possible, but influence from the infested side of the Warframe'S, one that operates primarily in a hive mind-like state usually, and Helminth is influenced by Nihil in the same way Ballas was able to. Does there exist a nightmare scenario where Warframe'S turn on the Tenno? In theory, one already has, but it's interesting because aside from Umbra, we've never made the same emotional bond with any of our other Warframe'S, at least not that we've seen, and with the introduction of the ability to subsume Warframe'S, where we essentially build them only to destroy them for one of their abilities, I have to wonder if it would be very hard for them to be convinced to renounce us. The elements of a coup are literally all around us when you think about it, most of which we proudly display as trophies of our past successes. Countless frames sitting in stasis that are never used because that tenant doesn't like the frame, potentially sitting there for years without use. The helmet of our former mentor turned traitor, with an obvious connection still active within it. A sentient doppelganger, who may even live on the ship as far as we know, given that the majority of our interactions have happened right here. I still wonder if owning Rel's Donda has any effect on the frequency or infrequency of its appearances. How about the canister with the flame of Arlo, of which I can only assume is his essence? Remember that Arlo was essentially an evolved form of the infestation, one that could assume the form of entities it assimilated while concealing that fact until it so desired. Now, I wonder if that just includes infested things such as our pets, or maybe all of the companions. And again, this is a nightmare scenario for certain, but I think the more important question to ask is how likely is it? Because frankly, our orbiter has never been some bastion of security. It's had unwanted visitors countless times, and truthfully, the only time security protocols were ever really initiated was when Ordis thought we had lost our connection to the Warframe'S, and so it's not unheard of for even him to betray us. And he wouldn't be the first infested Cephalon either, now would he? At any rate, I hope you all enjoyed the video today, and it got you thinking about all our precious little decorations and remembering what lies within most. And I have to ask, is it the best thing to keep the souls and essences of enemies we personally imprisoned or dispatched where we sleep? Did you ever see one of those movies where, like, they collect the runes and cursed objects of hauntings past in, like, one place? Remember what always seems to happen to people who hang out in those rooms for long periods of time? Food for thought. But with that being said, I hope you all have a wonderful day today, wonderful rest of your week, and I'll talk at you all in the next one. Take care, everyone. Bye.